Exactly a year ago, on the 19th of September 2017, when I had just arrived to New York City to study a Master's in Fine Arts at SVA, School of Visual Arts, a terrible earthquake hit Mexico, the beautiful country I was born and raised in. I would have never imagined this would unite people in such a way. People from all kinds of backgrounds got out and helped. Frustrated about the fact I couldn't do anything from here, I decided to do some donations with my first US temporary card, and there is where the creativity hit me. In the 15th century in Japan, when something was broken, they put it back together with gold. This is called kintosurukoi, a beautiful metaphor for resilience. I made a large-scale kintosurukoi credit card together with a donation system via a device called Square. Every donation was printed and put together with golden staples. With help of my friend Priscilla, the money raised was sent to a community called Tlaquitenango that was badly damaged by the earthquake, thanks to all the people who donated. How can I really help others if first I don't fix myself? Being in a foreign country, feeling lonely and winter hitting hard, brought me the opportunity to get to know myself in ways I had never imagined. I jumped back into the chapters of my past that led me to a very profound and inner quest called the Selfie Project. I realized that the only way to get to know myself was diving very deep, starting with the conceptions of my self-image. I started experimenting with my selfie in the form of temporary tattoos. How do I look at myself? Why do I take a picture of myself in an intimate space and throw it out there to the entire world in social media? What does the reflection in the mirror tell me every day? Do I dress up as myself instead of being myself? Am I the same person every single time I look at myself? Am I the same to me as I am to you? Growing up overprotected in an all-girls Catholic school, submerged in rules of etiquette. At 14 years old, I decided to reveal myself, getting my first tattoo. The nuns could undye my hair, take my bracelets off, and piercings, but this, never. This made myself turn more into the category of the black sheep the nuns and some classmates had put me in. This inspired me for a self-portrait. The golden cradle represents the golden cage I grew up in, very privileged but feeling trapped. The broken mirror represents the rebellion I felt towards the implied boundaries in my self-expression. A piece of my school uniform is trapped in the cage. Now at 30, being proud of the woman I turned into, I created a repetitive pattern of my selfie that led into the creation of my own uniform. Exploring more into the layers of the Selfie Project, I dived into different tattoo cultures and was fascinated by the significance of the Japanese yakuzas, technique that for many years was mostly used by men in certain mafias. The humility of Japanese society has restrained tattoo culture from interrupting public life, making this form of tattooing something sacred. Inspired once again by this wonderful culture, I decided to create my own yakuza suit with my selfies. I do not believe in cultural appropriation when it's a matter of honoring and not exploitation. The Selfie Project has its performative phase, where I walk around art fairs full of selfies of myself taking selfies. I have done it in different art fairs around the world. Starting from a place of vulnerability that slowly turns into power as I engage in conversations with people about different topics involving the self. I talk about the fact that we not only need to see ourselves as a masterpiece, but we have to learn to see each other that way, despite our differences. Another phase of the Selfie Project was a performance I made in my studio where I hired a tattoo artist to make on my arm my permanent selfie, while taking selfies with a selfie stick. Looking at myself is not enough. At the end of the day, I am a rotten piece of flesh. The only thing that will pervade with me forever is my mind. As a deeper exploration into my Buddhist practice, I created the project Becoming Green Tara. All Buddhas are enlightened minds with certain qualities. Green Tara is the mind of wisdom and action, a feminine Buddha of the Mahayana tradition, the only Buddha with a leg outside the lotus, ready to take action. When we train our thoughts in order to seek virtue in everything and develop a mind of compassion, we become enlightened, the cease of complete suffering. One of my most significant experiences doing the Green Tara performance was when a man entered my studio and was shocked by my presence. He kneeled and started talking to me with tears in his eyes as if I really was Green Tara. He mentioned that he had been doing her mantra for 17 years. In that moment, I realized the power of this performance. I do not want to come out as a preacher, but as an inspiration for virtue and good vibes. Deep in my heart, I know that that man was really Green Tara, visiting me and making me realize so many things that is impossible to see with the eyes. With the help of her mantra, Om Tare Tu Tare Tu de Soja, I stay present and try to imitate the qualities of her mind doing mundane daily activities, such as using public transport, walking in the street, buying coffee, going to nightclubs, to school, etc. This performance is just a graphic example of a practice I try to do every day until I get good at it. I am very far from becoming a Buddha. Based on the questions I ask myself when I look at art, I created a character called Delamer y Tu Arte. She's a gallerist who is not interested in money, representing an artist who is not interested in fame, using the streets around the world as a gallery or museum.
Hello, my name is Delamer y Tu Arte, and I represent this anonymous artist. What does credence mean? Credence is something that we believe in. So the artist, what he did is he drew a spring. He did the resemble of a spring stretched, outlining the building. This piece that we have here, it's called previous weaning. It's really hard for babies to understand, but this is a natural process. So this is a map of Paris that you can see here, the Seine River crossing completely, okay? And he decided to do this like really French style face. I read this is, okay? Do you see this tree? Okay, I'm glad that you see it, because this is not the piece. The piece is that one over there.
She has her own Instagram. She only follows that artists, by the way. Her own webpage and YouTube channel, where you can see the tours that she has done. Great plans are coming up for her. She will start some arty Tinder dates. Stay tuned. I was encouraged to do the residency program by my mentor and the chair of my department this summer. Here I discovered that failure should always reflect to me as an opportunity for growth. I turned the bottles that I collected in my spinning classes from last year into flower pots with a homemade self-irrigation system. The thread rises through the entire pot until it ends in a reflecting helium balloon. This installation is a metaphor based on Buddhist philosophy, where we talk about the idea that the world we experience is a mere reflection of our mind. I decided to retake the threads of my life, but this time full of colors, to weave myself back much stronger. I get involved in an active meditation with this series of string pieces. If my mind is tense and full of noise, I cannot tense the string straight. If my mind is relaxed and focused, the string becomes straight and steady. These pieces are a great exercise for observing my mind. If I don't take responsibility for my thoughts, what am I going to offer to the world? I wish this could always be something beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my work, share it with the people you love the most. Thanks for being with me in this journey. If you want to keep updated with my work, you can always sign to my newsletter by visiting my website. Thank you very much.